Now the moment many of you have been waiting for. Tonight we are honoring the founding CEO of NYC Outward Bound Schools, Richard Stopol. Richard will be retiring after 33 years at the helm of the organization. To help bring to life all of the ways Richard has impacted this organization, he agreed to sit down with two students for an interview. Anafrannette Vargas and Tyriek are 8th grade students at Launch, an NYC Outward Bound school in Weeksville, Brooklyn. Let's take a look.
Hi, Mr. Stopol. Thank you for joining us today and having this conversation with us.
It's my pleasure to be here with both of you and looking forward to talking with both of you.
My name is Tyriek.
And I'm Anafrannette. We're both 8th graders and we attend Launch, which is an NYC Outward Bound school.
And today we are right down the street from our school and we are at the Weeksville Heritage Center, one of the great historic grounds of America's first free Black communities. And it's really cool to be here today.
So Tyriek, as you may know, every time Mr. Stopol and I see each other, we tend to ask each other what type of books we're reading. So, Mr. Stopol, what type of books have you been reading lately?
I love that we've established that tradition. Right now I'm reading a new book called New York, New York, New York by Thomas Deja, I think is how he pronounces his name, and it's a history of New York City over the last 40 years, which happens to coincide with the time that I've been working in New York City, trying in my small way to make our city a better place.
So my first question for you, Mr. Stopol, is since you've been president and CEO of NYC Outward Bound for 33 years now, what was NYC Outward Bound like before you even came here?
Yeah, so, really there wasn't an organization per se when we first started. What we had in the beginning was more an idea or a vision. I would say a big, lofty idea of bringing Outward Bound's educational approach to New York City's young people and their public schools in ways that would transform schools and change lives. And one of the things that I'm actually proudest of is that we were able to bring that idea, that vision, to life in the form of an organization that has stood the test of time. And we've gone from being an organization that brought Outward Bound programs into schools while also providing out-of-classroom Outward Bound experiences for students to one that now operates a highly successful 5-borough network of schools. What we fundamentally do at NYC Outward Bound Schools, and really it's what motivates and excites me every day, is bring our formula for educational excellence, that potent mix of demanding and engaging learning, community and character, to New York City's young people, and particularly those young people who historically have lacked access to a high quality education. As part of our evolution, we're now bringing that approach to a growing number of schools beyond our network. All told, to give you a sense of the scope of our work now, we work with upwards of 70 schools each year and serve over 18,000 students like you.
So as we all know, since 2020, we haven't been in person for a while. What stands out to you the most about NYC Outward Bound's performance in the last year?
At the outset of the pandemic, we invoked this phrase, meeting the moment, as a kind of our organizational focus or mantra. And what we've been continually doing is asking ourselves the question of how we can best meet the needs, this really emerging needs of our schools and our students. So this has been a year of constant adaptation, and we've seen how important it is to really put an emphasis on some of the things that are at the heart of our work, like community building and student engagement and a commitment to equity. And we've really leaned into those aspects of our work. And I would just say I'm tremendously proud of our staff and the staff at our schools for having done that. And I don't actually think it's an exaggeration to say that the work that they've done this past year and they're continuing to do is heroic.
As you know, we were all kids at one point, but what kind of student were you when you were our age?
Well, I would say that I was a good student in the traditional sense, in that I got good grades and I was very conscientious in my studies. I'd also say that when I reflect back on my years in school, particularly my middle and high school years, that I now realize that there was something fundamental missing. And it was that sense of community that I know is so present at launch, and that I see and feel at all of our network schools.
Why did you choose to make this your life's work? What encouraged you to work in the field of education?
I think that's an easy answer for me. I really believe passionately in the power of education to transform lives. You know, to be a vehicle not only for economic mobility and success, but also a pathway to a life of personal meaning and fulfillment, as well as service to others. I'm so proud to know that during my tenure at NYC Outward Bound Schools, we've worked with over 200,000 young people, and along the way have helped them to discover their strengths and unlock their potential. I would lift up one data point that I'm especially proud of, and it's that the graduation rate of our network schools has consistently outpaced the city average by more than 10 points. And even more impressively, our special education students, who represent almost a quarter of our total student population, have had consistently a graduation rate that's nearly 30 points higher than the city average. I see a future in which we bring that educational approach that I just described, that mix of demanding and engaging learning, community, and character, to many more schools, together with our partners at EL Education and other like-minded allies. We're going to redefine what educational excellence looks like.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, Mr. Stopol. We really appreciate it.
And we wish you the best with your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Richard. I know I speak on behalf of everyone here tonight when I say you are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for your years of service to this organization.